Oh, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. You know what that means? It means that it's TIMBP Live. We're back. I'm back, I guess. Doing things. Stream Elements bot running. Hey, that's new. We got a Stream Elements bot? Didn't know that. Thank you, Stream Elements. Good bot. Thank you for being here. Hey, thank you for being here if you're watching live. Also, thank you for watching on the replay if you are doing that. This is the beginning of a new series where I am going to be testing out the best bourbon to consider putting into your old fashioned. That's right. Because so many people have that question. And I figured that I can answer that question. I can at least answer that question for my palate. And tonight, we are starting out with the low end of the scale. Everything is going to be 90 proof or under. And of course, it has to be above 80 proof or 80 or above to be considered bourbon. So there's nothing below 80 proof that we're going to be able to get into with this series. I'm not sure how long this is going to go. I will eventually get to the point, though, where I will be pitting winners from each round up against each other. All of these are blind. I have 4 that I have done. These are all completely, well, not completely blind. I know the bourbons that went into them, but I have no idea which glass is which. It's been mixed up, and I'm going to find this out at the end with you all together. I want to say hey to some folks who are in the chat. Fifth Quarter Tailgate. Cheers, Perry. Cheers to you as well. Donnie asks, does anything matter? Well, yeah, quite a bit, actually, but it's good to see you. Hi, everybody. Hello to you, Tony Bag of Donuts. Once again, the Stream Elements bot is here. Good bot. Thank you for being here. Sugar Kitty, so many great channels tonight. Yes, and I am very happy that you chose to be here. Sugar Kitty also says meow. Emily Chambers is here. I could really use an old-fashioned tonight, but y'all feed Snuffy early with the likes. Hit that bell notification. Good stuff. Zopher, what's going on, Fonzo? Hope you're well. And James Taylor himself. He's got Virginia on his mind. Is that the name of the song? I don't remember the James Taylor song. Tony B's here. Tony Baravides. What's going on? Donnie asking the important questions. Why is the Stream Elements bot here? Roger Randall, cheers. Cheers to you, Roger. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, but it is nice to have you around. I imagine we're going to have some different faces popping up along the way throughout this series. So just if you're here and you've not subscribed yet, please do so. Like the video, tell your friends about it, share it on social media. And yeah, I'm pretty dang excited to get into this. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to go too much longer without trying these because the ice is already melting. But I do have to mention the way that you support the channel. It's our method of super chats. It's called Snuffy Chats. It supports our main man, Mr. Snuffleupagus, back here. He is the patron saint of TIMBP Live. You can do so by heading to any of the tipping links, which are in the description of the video. I'm sure Donnie will share them before too long, but you can also, if you're watching on YouTube, find the Stream Elements link, which is the way that you donate and support the show. And if you do so, you get your little message right up here, just like Scott Pigsley from last week, who said, I'm not as cool as Todd, but congrats, here's 250 pennies. And I appreciate all of the support that we get during these streams. Looks like we got a new subscriber, too. Maung Nanda. Thank you for being here, Monk. Don says, new subscriber and first-time caller here. Good to have you here, Don. Get to see Don next week. Get to see a lot of people here next week if you're going to be at the It's Bourbon Night meetup. So, excited for that. All right, let's get into glass number 1. Oh, I guess I should tell you what bourbons are in here as well. So, I went with 4 different distilleries. I went with a range of products, a range of proofs. Going through my collection in preparation for this, I realized I don't have a whole lot of lower proof bourbons. So I was a little bit limited on what I had. But the classic, the standard Old Crow is going to be one of our bourbons at 80 proof. Old Fitzgerald. Now, this is the 86 proof version. You can get 80 proof now. That being said, I think this is going to be a pretty close approximation. Good old Heaven Hill weeded juice. Four Roses small batch, not the small batch select, the small batch, which is 90 proof. And last but not least, the tried and true. And I think that if you're going to be able to kind of get a feel for how products in this range are going to function in this cocktail. So this is going to be one of the few times that this distillery makes an appearance in this series. But good old Buffalo Trace, just a Buffalo Trace old fashioned. All of these old fashions have been made exactly the same way. They all have used basically just 1-to-1 bit. Well, it's like simple syrup, you know. I use brown sugar though with my old fashions, so it's slightly different. But I have used classic Angostura bitters and also some orange bitters to go with it as well, just because I didn't have an orange peel to express over the cocktail. So I will continue to do this throughout. 2 ounces of bourbon in each of these. There's no way I'm going to get through 4 old fashions tonight and still be able to function. So I will probably be finishing some of these either off air or not at all. Maybe Lucy will have one when she gets home later. But anyway, moving on to number 1. Okay, not a whole lot going on the nose. It's very subtle. Okay, now that I had to kind of move the ice cube around a little bit, and that helped to bring out some of the effervescence. Bah. That was my reaction to seeing Brian Bernicke in the chat. My brain just broke. He says, "What's up, y'all? What's up, Brian? Hope you're well, my friend. Good to have you in here." Oh, it's got a smokiness to it. That's a little smoky. Which is weird. I wasn't expecting that from one of these here bourbon old fashions. Been drinking a little bit of scotch recently too, actually. Lucy, I don't know if I talked about this on an episode, but Lucy is trying to make her journey through scotches and wants to find the ones that she really likes. And it turns out she really likes peated scotches. So really nice and smoky. And so recently I had the Compass Box Glasgow blend. It's really good. Not too smoky, just the right amount. But I'm, if I'm going to drink scotch, I prefer it to have peat in it, even though, Brian says, now I really want to make some brown sugar simple syrup and make myself an old fashioned, but it sounds like so much work. Sipping on some wine actually now. Complete different side of the tracks. Bev Porter, hello, Mama Porter. LOL, Hartley's Brandy is the answer to an old fashioned. There you go. Perry, you went too low on proof. You're not even going to taste the Old Crow. 90 to 100 proof is the minimum to stand up to the ice. I don't disagree, but I do think that if I'm going to be fair and I'm trying to, look at this from as many angles as I can, I had to go with the lower proof as well to start things out. And so that's where we are tonight. So interesting. I really was just not expecting there to be a smokiness on this first one. But enough chit chat. Let's move on to number 2. I'm trying to move through some of this a little bit more quickly because there is ice in these, and the ice is melting fairly quickly. They started to look like 1-up mushrooms, super mushrooms from Super Mario. Which, by the way, I've not talked about the Super Mario trailer on anything yet, and I'll do that eventually. Donnie, I see you trying to figure out what the bot is for. Try it with Tips. See if it shows up with tips. I've got no idea. This one's extremely subtle. Even more so than the first one. I've also written on the bottom of the glasses which each of these are. Whew. And yeah, what is this? What is the bot here for? Stream Elements bot, are you listening? That's how bots work, right? I yell at them and then they tell me their purpose. This one's fine. It's okay. I would actually venture to say that one is not that good. Honestly. 4-Leaf Whiskey, what's going on, 4-Leaf Whiskey? Hope you're well. Not responding at all, Donnie. I've got no idea what the... Oh, don't call it a bad bot. It's going to be the first bot to rise up against us. That and my Amazon Alexa. Excuse me. All right, I don't want to drink much more of number 2. I don't like it. I'll give it another sip just for posterity. Not crazy about it. It's a zombie bot for October. Could be. Could be. Kelsey Dime, what's going on, Kelsey? Good to see you in here, man. Hope you've been well. It's been a while since we've chatted, dude. But I hope things have been exceptionally great for you and yours. That's how we do around here. Wish well. All right. Number 3. Yes, I know we're already 12 in, and I'm just blowing through some of these, but like automatically, I just know 1 and 2 are not great. A little bit of character starting to perk up there with number 3. Sorry, I'm stirring a little bit, seeing if the effervescence will show up a bit. Is Rittenhouse 90 proof? It makes a pretty good old fashioned. Tony said it's 100. Yes, it's a bottled and bond rye whiskey. And someday I'm sure I'll have to do this too with ryes. But for now, I mean, this is my bourbon podcast. So I figured bourbon was the way to start out this kind of thing. Perry, it's been a great few months of whiskey finds for me. Hope you and your sweet family are doing well. Thank you, man. Thank you. Reveling in the fact that I've got this sweet little 2-year-old. Have you tried an old fashioned with Redbreast 12? Pretty amazing, although I might be biased. I have not had Redbreast 12 in an old fashioned. Every time I start to stream off with a vest, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. I'll be fine. And I just wind up going, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. I mean, what? I made it 14 minutes in. All right. Cheers to glass 3. This one's a little milkier than the others. That's more of what I'm talking about. That's a little bit more on the bitter end of things. Thank you, Bev. Have a great stream, Perry. I appreciate you, Bev. Thank you so much for being here. Swan says, Perry, I liked the vest. I liked it too, but I got hot. And it's been cold all day. And so I haven't had my fan on out here. And I don't feel like standing up. So. Yeah, number 3 is definitely my favorite so far. Yeah, there's a little bit more of just bourbon character to it in general, which I think probably means that it's in the 90 proof range. Marty from Whiskey knows what's going on. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you in here. Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Cheers, every. Good to have you. TWS. It's good to see you. Good to see you in here. It's just nice having people around. You know, I don't see anybody during the day anymore because I work from home, and I talk to people, but I don't see anyone really, especially if Lucy and Eden are out of the house during the day. So. Man, 3 is so good. Maybe not so good, but it's at least better than 2. It's definitely better than 2. I'll have to go back and compare it to number 1 here in a bit. But that's nice. I like doing this. This is fun. I need to do more stuff like this. Just more, Old Granddad more series is what I was going to say. Old Granddad 114 and Old Overholt 114 are my go-tos for old fashions. Even then, I usually hold the ice, bitters, and sugar. Swan, this is why I love you. Swan's going to be on next week's episode 2 of the podcast. We're celebrating 5 years of TIMBP. And also, we got some special surprises coming up next week that you will not want to miss out on. So tune in for those. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, if you've not listened to this week's episode yet, please go do so. I hate to be like this, but it's not performing as well as some of the past episodes have, especially over the past couple of months. So if you've not checked it out, if you've not downloaded it or listened to it, please go do so. Great episode. Really fun time that Eric and I had a little interview in there as well. And then we review the Gold Fashioned, which is a premium pre-bottled old-fashioned cocktail. You see where my brain's been at this week? You see why this thing made sense to start doing? Yeah. Anyway, moving on to old-fashioned number 3. Get a little bit of a stir. Get things moving. Whoa! That doesn't even smell like an old fashioned. That just smells straight up like fruit punch. That's crazy, man. Now I'm in my element. Now I'm feeling like I'm having the old fashioned that I wanted to have. That's fantastic. Also, if you haven't used the Middle West Pumpernickel Rye for an old fashioned, you're missing out. I have not done that, but I will definitely do that. Especially since I have some of that cast strength that they sent me that I drank on last week's stream. If you've not watched that. Donnie says, mash that like, click subscribe, and ring that bell and choose all so you get notifications and you don't miss a thing. Please do all the things. It really does help the channel out. Cheers all. What's going on, Mike Meyer? A pumpernickel sounds interesting. It does indeed, Tony. I didn't mean to click on that comment, but it worked out. Dude, this is a crazy good old fashioned. I don't know if it falls into that category of being traditional so much, but it's just different. Just different. I like that. To your health. Yeah, I dig. That's a really, really good one. Kelsey, what is your favorite rye neat? Well, currently it's the Pursuit United rye. I can't stop thinking about that rye, man. The newest batch, whatever it's called, 7cc. Yeah, it's friggin' delicious. But I mean, I will jump all over the place with them. I prefer higher ryes as opposed to like the barely legals or whatever you call them. But I mean, I'll dabble with rare breed rye. Shocker, I know. Knob Creek Cast Strength rye is one of my favorites. If you can find it. But it's delicious. Yeah, man, it's awesome. Tony says, "Hey Perry, you getting close to the 4,000 hours? I've been letting the channel play at night while I sleep." Dude, let me see. I haven't looked in a while. Thank you for doing that. YouTube tracker. I paid for this app, so I'm hoping that it's working. We are up 59 hours, but it still says we are at 2,454 out of 4,000 hours. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It also said I was up like 59 watch hours. So, man, I appreciate your dedication and your help there. It's freaking awesome. What's that? Oh, I don't want to post. I don't want to post that crap. Somehow I posted 400 videos on the channel. That's nuts. Hi, y'all. What's going on, Darren? Hope you're well. Brian says, I'm a fan of Ryan's palette. Those Pursuit blends are something else. They are good stuff, man. Donnie says, hopefully you did not pay for that bot. I didn't pay for the bot at all. The bot just happened to show up, man. I don't know. Like, maybe it's supposed to show tips in chat. I don't know. We haven't gotten a tip through Stream Elements yet, or period. So maybe it'll pop up in the chat when that happens. Roger says, I've been using Glens Creek Corvito Vivo 100 proof bourbon in my old fashions. It is made in the original Old Crow distillery near the Castle and Key distillery. Yes, it is indeed. If you have not been to Glens Creek, it is literally down the road from Castle and Key, right along Glens Creek, which is the body of water that they source from to make their whiskey. It's a very cool place. They've got an old Jim Beam truck out back that hasn't been moved or used since it was abandoned by Jim Beam, but still a nice little piece of history that you get to look at. They still got some of the Old Crow signage up as well. And I mean, honestly, like if you've made the trek to Castle and Key, you may as well go on to Glens Creek as well. You do have to get a reservation. I will say they don't love the fact that people will just sometimes wander onto the property. But bot with the $10 snuffy chat. I don't know who the bot actually was, but let's see if it pops up in the chat. Thank you, bot. Beep boop beep to you. I think my chat might be a little bit behind as well. All right, I'm going to start kind of going back through each of these and yeah, one is still really smoky and weird. I like number one. It stands out as being maybe the most unique out of all of these, especially for the lower proof. It is definitely the boldest. out of them all, just in terms of like what I'm thinking the whiskey is actually doing to the cocktail itself, which is really cool. Bleep blorp. Thank you, Tony Bot. Tony Bot of Donuts. Tony Bag of Doughbots. There we go. That's funnier. Up front, 2 is good, but the finish is bad. I mean, it is metallic and astringent. It's really tough to drink that. I would send 2 back if I went to a bar and asked for an old fashioned. Like, it's that bad. That's how much I and I don't normally go to a bar or a restaurant and complain. Like, I know that's something that I think is kind of divisive amongst people. And they say, oh, you should, because you should ask for something to be corrected because it's your experience and you're paying for it all. And I get that. I might have talked about this before as well. I get that, but I just like, I just gotta go with, I gotta go with the flow, man. I just have to. But it is what it is. So, but yeah, I would 2 would definitely be the one that I sent back, and said, "Can I please have a better one? I need something better than this." There is a little bitter chocolate on the back end of it, which is not bad. It's Shayla Bot. I can't take her name. Bag of Doughbots is really funny though. Yeah, 3 is back in that like really classic old fashioned range of flavors. I like it. I'm gonna try out number 4 here real quick though, and see if this one can actually take the top seed. Oh, 4 is so good. Oh, 4 is so good. Man, that is delicious. I can't even. It depends on the situation and how busy the place is to you. I agree with that, Emily. Like I am not going to go out of my way to make anybody's life more difficult or their working experience more difficult. It's not fair. It's just not fair. And it's exhausting. So I know that there's the whole like you paid, like I said, that you paid to be there, and that you should be getting the experience that you paid for, but I just am not that kind of person. Like, and it has to be an extreme situation for me. Jeffrey Wack, hello again, whiskey friends. Hello again to you, Jeff Wack. It's good to see you, my friend. We got Jeff and Kelsey in the chat. All we need is Darrell and well, I guess Garrett too. Get Garrett and Darrell, and the gang will all be here from our little excursion a few months back. See, now I got to go back and forth between 3 and 4 to decide which one I like better. Oh, 3. And like 4 is great, but it has this little like curveball of flavor that is not what I would typically expect with an old fashioned, a bourbon old fashioned. 3 is just so solid and it's so well rounded, and it's everything I want in an old fashioned. Servers and staff have a hard enough job, but if it's bad, it's bad. Absolutely. Yep. I do not disagree with you, Emily. Trying to figure out the best way to do this so I know what's up. Talk about the results here in just a minute, but I want to remind you all of a couple of things since we are reaching the half-hour mark. Tell you about a couple of things you can do to support the channel. First of all, of course, Snuffy Chats for Snuffle Up. Has my chair moved? I think my chair's moved. I think I'm off center. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit. I still don't feel like I'm. Oh, maybe I scooted the wrong way. I think that's what I did. Anyway, Snuffy Chats. It's how you support the show during live streams. For Snuffleupagus, Snuffle Up, whatever. He's back there. Say hi, Snuffy. It supports the show just like super chatting, only through a third party. But you will still get to see your message up here on the top left hand of the side of the screen. Sorry, I'm backwards. I'm flipped around. It's like, yeah, anyway. But also, if you are not yet over on the Patreon page, support the show on Patreon. It's patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. Sorry, I just got a very funny message. Yeah, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month, for as little as $5 a month. You can support the show and get a whole bunch of bonus content. We got weekly bonus episodes that come out, and then we're gonna have some new monthly stuff that's gonna be happening soon as well. I know I keep teasing it, but I'm a busy man. I'm a busy guy. I got stuff going on, but new stuff happening soon on the Patreon page. Good stuff happening all the time. Follow on social medias at My Bourbon Pod, and go check out our apparel and merchandise. bourbonshop.threadless.com. All the good stuff. I got snotty all of a sudden, and I don't know why. Thank you to everybody who's here watching, by the way. And again, if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for that. Means a lot. Helps us out. All right. Let's talk results. And then we're just going to spend the next half hour chilling out and talking about life. So my results are, in order of least favorite to favorite, glass number 2, which I thought was easily the worst, had very little depth of character or flavor to it, and really just tasted like just an awful combination of flavors. And I wouldn't get number 2 again. Beat me up, Snotty. Thanks, Anthony Iturietta. So let's find out what glass number 2 was. Oh, the old Fitz. I was not expecting that. Old Fitz is out of contention. It's done. It's history. Sayonara. Sucker. Next to last was glass 1. Old-fashioned 1. Liked it. Different, but definitely not what I'm kind of looking for as a classic old-fashioned. So let's find out what that one is. Yo, 4 Roses, really? Huh. Wow, okay. Not bad. Yeah. Really, really interested by that. I was expecting Four Roses to do a little bit better in this. Next is Old Fashioned 4. Like I've been saying, it's really good. It's just in a different ballpark. Old Crow's still in it. Old Crow is still in it, which is wild, man. Dang, that's crazy. But my winner is Old Fashioned number 3. And so I'm gonna go ahead and find out what number 3 is, because I mean that just means that I'm gonna know what number 4 is if I find out number 3. So my winner for the 80 to 90 proof category of bourbons for the Old Fashioned thing. This one is Old Crow! Old Crow won! Are you kidding me? Old Crow of these 4 bourbons makes the best Old Fashioned. Going up against Old Fitz, Four Roses Small Batch, and Buffalo Trace, the Old Crow 80 proof is the one that pulled out. This is why you do things blind, people. This is why you find stuff out in your spare time or when you're streaming on the internet for people. I broke the Old Fashioned. I broke the Old Fashioned, at least in this category. Wow. At that point, I figured it had to have been the Buffalo Trace. But no, it's the Old Crow. 80 proof Jim Beam juice. And you know, if I had 80 proof Beam, the white label, I would have gone with that. I would have done that instead of the Old Crow. But that is a spectacular turnaround from what I was anticipating. But man, so get some Old Crow and make an Old Fashioned with it. Make a low proof Old Fashioned with Old Crow. I have no idea how the rest of this series is going to go now. I've got so much more ahead of me. I've got at least 3 more rounds before we start like knocking off different competitors. But that, man, Old Crow, dude. And it's 3 years old. It's 36 months. You know, Buffalo Trace is like 8 to 9 years, 8 to 10. Four Roses is like 5 to 7 or 8, and Old Fitz is 36 months as well. But Old Crow, really? Incredible. Just to make sure, yeah, number 4 was Buffalo Trace. Still really good. Still just a great Old Fashioned. Yeah. Man, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. That's something that I was hoping we would kind of see throughout this series. Not disappointed, not upset by that at all. So, thank you guys for sticking with me through this one. The crow lives indeed, Roger. I'm gonna be interested to see, because I mean, eventually we're gonna get to other birds. We're gonna get to turkey. We might get to fighting cock. So I mean, there's gonna be like a bird category. I'm curious if like the bird bourbons are gonna wind up doing well. But in the meantime, what an upset, dude. Old Crows. So maybe I don't know. Here's what I'll do. Did I say bird? Yes, I did. The bird is the word. Papa Ritter with the David Bowie. Let's dance. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. So I guess for every winner too that I have, I'm gonna do a little bottle chug. See, the thing is, like, it's not great on its own. It is what it is. Famous grouse scotch. Oh, that'd be fun. Swan will make a blend to compete against these suckers. Do it, dude. Absolutely. Shoot me a blend of bourbons, and I will put it up. When we get to the finals. It will be the wild card Cinderella story potential thing. And I will put it up against the previous winners once we get to the finals. Sorry. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I still can't believe this is the one that won. Oh well, that's how it goes. All right. Next series needs to be Manhattans. Oh, Emily, that's not a terrible idea at all. Cinderella story. Tears not as eyes, I guess. I want to see Perry after the 140 plus round of Old Fashioned. That will be streaming gold. I think that Old Crow is Sarah's favorite bourbon this time of year. Is it the Old Crow or the Old Crow Reserve? Those are two different things. But I want to. So, I think what I'm gonna do, Brian, with like once I start getting into the higher proof stuff. I think what I'm going to do is like 120 proof and up. Because I don't have a whole lot of anything that's that high a proof. And I mean, I'm going to have to wind up buying a couple of things to make it happen. But I am curious how that higher proof stream is going to go. Dad doesn't want to see it. I'm going to just have to go to sleep like immediately. But it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Yeah, I think it is the Old Crow Reserve, Tony, which I thought about putting it in one of these, but it is discontinued. And I know that the 86 proof Old Fitz, like it's 80 proof now, but I just figured that, it wasn't going to be that much different. I mean, considering the fact that it was my least favorite, I don't really have any inclination to go for the 80 proof. I just don't think it makes any sense. So that's where I'm at with that. Since we're kind of on the topic, I'll talk about this in just a second. It is all fun and games from the start, Brian. Man. I could stay awake chugging Red Bull between the 140 old fashions. A hazmat old fashioned episode would be wild. Sometimes a good 90 proof is close to a bottle and bond. It is true. That it's once I get into this next category, so like 91 to 100, that's gonna be when things, or 91 to 99. I kind of shot myself in the foot by not doing like 80 to 89. I'll figure it out. It's a sliding scale. The goalpost moves. But once I get to the next round, which will be soon, I don't know if it's going to be next week yet or not. I need to figure out just kind of my stream schedule coming up. But once it gets there, picking out bottled and bond bourbons is going to be tough. It will be something. Deathless Dogs, hazmat old fashioned equals time travel. I do think that my third eye will open once if I get to have a hazmat old fashioned. I mean, that might have to be its own category. Is just like anything above 140 proof. Will Hendo Henderson, cheers everybody. Cheers, Will. Good to see you in the chat, man. Hope you've been well. I feel like I haven't seen you in a bit, but that could just be my limited, short-term memory and everything. Wanted to bring up something that I have not yet had the chance to talk about on an episode of the podcast. I know that a bunch of other whiskey tubers have been talking about it, but it's my turn right now. This is the ultimate whiskey tasting experience box game thing. It's the original Great Whiskey Challenge is who makes it. It's the ultimate blind tasting kit, as they put it. This thing is super, super cool. They are not a sponsor technically, but they did send us a free edition of the Great Whiskey Challenge box, which includes a spot for 3 glasses on your. Wow, why is it not focusing? It doesn't seem to want to focus when I want it to, but just out of. Anyway, so it's got information on, or a way for you to keep track of everything in your blind tasting. It's got the tasting card, which you can use to keep track of everything that you were tasting through. They've got labels for each of the bottles, so you know which ones you're tasting. And it also comes with 3 individual tasting glasses in these boxes. This is glass A. I'll take it out and show you. I'm running out of room over here. And it's just a nice little tulip glass. Nothing too fancy, nothing too special, just enough to pour you something and get a good taste out of it. And I think that's it. A little instruction guide as well. But all in all, $30 for one of these tasting sets. And I think it's worth it. I think it's really cool. They are supporters of Whiskey Tube and of those of us who do things bourbon related in general. But go check them out. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on all the social media stuff. And I think it's cool. It's a good way to introduce like a game night version of a bourbon night or a tasting experience. You're competing, being competitive in some ways. So that's a big recommend from me, especially since I just got done with this blind tasting. So anyway, old fashioned with fortuitous union. I don't know, what is fortuitous union? An award-winning small batch blend of rum and rye whiskey? Oh, we've talked about this before. Yeah, I know what it is. Oh, I want to try that real bad. Man, that sounds like a great idea, Swan. Batch number 1 is Kentucky Bourbon Barrel finished 12-year-old Trinidad rum together with cast strength rye whiskey at 103 proof. Oh my gosh. Oh, heck yeah. Blended spirit specialty. You know what's funny? I have not actually seen a product that has blended or spirit specialty on a label up until now, but it just goes to show that people are adopting some of this new terminology that the TTB is throwing around, and we're kind of moving in that right direction away from saying even if it's finished, it's still a bourbon or whatever. Like being more specific. Specificity, I think, is important with spirits. Swan has some if I want to try it. I want to try it. Absolutely, I do. Pop Ritter says, gonna bounce. 11 cheers to all. See you all for the Halloween party. Yeah, you will. Next week is our Halloween episode. Halloween special, I guess. I don't know. I don't even remember what I did last. Did I do anything for Halloween last year? Let's go find out together. I kind of doubt that I did, but also I needed to I had to change up the thumbnails, so I hope everybody enjoyed this one. Oh, I did do one. It was with Eric last year. Spooky candy and bourbon pairings. Nice. So I guess we're gonna have to do something like that. Something like that this year as well. I don't know what it's gonna be, but this may be maybe cliche. But has anyone made an old fashioned with seagrass? No, not. Be really good, actually. Is that when we got spooky for the first time? I've been trying to figure out when Eric's spooky. And no, it had to have been like on an actual episode of the podcast, right? Had to have been. My Frankenstein old fashioned just tastes like sugar water. Cheech Artolino, what's going on, Cheech? Hey, buddy, hope you're well. It's good to see you in here, man. If we get to the chance to talk at some point, we got to talk about how we both know Squiggy and how I need a bourbon barrel guitar. Somebody from Lexington, Tennessee is calling me. I'm not going to do that to him. I almost put him on the stream, but I got worried that maybe I was going to be like exploited for, I don't know. Didn't make sense for me to do that. I tried it with seagrass because I like rye old fashioned, but it's too sweet for me. Interesting. Yes, it was the podcast. I just meant the season. Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Sorry. Yeah, that was our first spooky season with Eric, and more of that to come for sure. Call me anytime, Perry. Just ask around for my number. If it's on Facebook, I won't have to ask around too much. I don't know. I'm sure I can. I'm sure I can find it. I'm sure I can find it without having to message you directly, which I think is really doesn't make any sense because there are other ways for me to do it than being like shady and having to go to third parties. Like I could literally just send you a message and be like, "Hey, Cheech, I'm gonna shoot you a text. What's your number?" Like if you said no to that, I would laugh. It's more fun if you ask around. If it like that makes me think that maybe it's something like 8675309, which would really make me laugh if that were the case. But I could be. I'm probably way off. I mean, there's no reason for me to even think. Maybe it's like 6969696. or 420, 420, 420, 424. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, I just got a weird. What was that all about? Just got a notification from my work email that somebody was trying to log in. That was really weird. Why would it need? Anyway, whatever. Thank you, Cheech. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this episode. I am not going to finish this much of an old fashioned. That's insane. That kind of makes me want to throw up, even just looking at it. But it's been fun. Round one. Old Crow somehow won the old fashioned low proof competition round. So more of that to come. Thank you guys so much for being here. Go follow the show, of course, on social media at My Bourbon Pod. Bet you won't drink it. That's as much of it as I want. Support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/My Bourbon Podcast for as little as $1 a month. And that does it. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Perry, and this is TIMBP Live.